Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Name the dog in the animal.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in paints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, the podcast where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is my bearded co-host, Frank.
Bearded? I know we said it a couple weeks ago, but it just every time you say it sounds like you're saying beard.
I'm just informing people that you have a beard. This is an audio.
I'm just not sure if you're giving
this
them
is audio entertainment.
I'm not sure if you're informing them that I have a beard or that I have a beer.
You have both.
Exactly, which is
You
why I'm
do-
like,
you kind of have a beer, but not really.
well, I mean, I do, but it's not your father's root beer.
No, it's not. No, it's not my father's root beer either.
No.
Yeah,
It's not your father's root beer.
it's just not your father's root beer.
Yeah.
Ale with the taste of spices.
Yes.
It's quite
That's
good.
right. It's
I
very
like this. Somebody told me about another beer that another company, I think it was Shipyard, that did their own
Oh, really?
version of this.
Like a hard root beer?
Yeah, and I think they liked it better than this one, but I haven't tried it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
These guys are working on, this is from Small Town Brewery. Their next thing that they're working on is a ginger beer, a hard ginger beer. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm interested. I'm interested to hear that, to taste that when it comes out. But yeah,
Listen to that ginger beer. It sounds so good.
it's so
delicious.
carbonated.
sounding.
Listen to that sound.
I'd be curious. I'd really like them to do some kind of cream soda
Yeah.
beer. I would like that.
You know, did you know? You might have told me this actually, that on the bottle of Sam Adams,
I know where you're going with this, and I did tell you this.
you did,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. On the bottle of Sam Adams beer, like the guy on the bottle, on the label, who's holding up the beer mug and like cheersing you, toasting you, is not Sam Adams. It's Paul Revere.
That's right, because Sam Adams was an ugly bugger.
Yeah.
And when they were making that beer, they were like, "We need someone handsome
Yeah.
to sell beer."
So it's
you, Paul Revere.
Yeah. So
You did rides and stuff.
There's
Yeah.
a picture of Paul Revere. Like, Paul Revere gets so many easy breaks. Like, he, first of all, like, the whole Midnight Ride, the Longfellow poem, is overstated in terms of the amount of credit he gets.
Yeah, because he didn't even finish his ride.
Right.
And there were a bunch of other people also doing
Exactly.
rides.
But the only reason why his
Don't get me
name
started.
is in there is because Paul Revere rhymes with "Listen, my children, and you shall hear." And that's the only reason why.
Oh,
because
I didn't
rhymes.
think, yeah, it rhymes.
Because
his
it
name
rhymes.
is so lyrical.
Right. So that's why he chose his name. And so he becomes the famous one from that poem that's written like
So
100
he
years later.
gets two famous things.
And he gets to be on. But in that case, he's not getting the credit for it. His face is there, but it's
no, he's
attributed
not,
to Sam Adams.
yeah, he's not getting the credit
Right.
for it. You're right.
Right.
But still,
Yeah.
he's famous for two different things
Right.
that he maybe arguably shouldn't be famous for.
Right.
He's
Right.
famous because his name is easily rhymable.
Right.
And he's handsome
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
by late 1700 standards.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at his picture, he's pretty.
I would, but there's another handsome gentleman on my
not on this
bottle
one.
right
Well, I've
now.
got a picture of him over there in my apartment because I had like his history.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's true.
there
He
right
is
there.
rather shrouded in shadow
Yeah,
in that photo.
but that
of a
is
statue.
of him. But that's still. I don't know. I like history.
You can't always trust the historical statues of figures because, I mean, if you look at Commodus from the Roman Empire, his statue is him as Heracles or Hercules
Yeah.
if you're at the
Yeah.
Roman. So, with the bear skin and all that. So it might not be exactly what he looked like.
Might have taken liberties. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. But that looks reasonably like the version of him that's on the Sam Adams bottle.
Yes, that's very
so
true.
I imagine that's somewhat accurate.
That's very true.
Yeah.
If you had to choose, who do you like more, Sam Adams or Paul Revere?
I know less about Sam Adams.
Okay. So by default, you like Paul Revere more.
Probably. But I do know Sam Adams, so he was like John Adams' cousin?
Yeah.
Cousin. And he was obviously integral to, he was part of the Continental Congress. He was there for the framing of the Constitution. Like, he was very involved in all of that. But I don't really know many details really about Sam Adams' life the same way I know about Paul Revere.
arguably those are important things. He really got John Adams. Really, he pushed John Adams to be involved in, I would say, inciting the revolution, but being part of it more than anything else, because he was very content to be like, I'm just a lawyer from Boston.
Yeah.
/ farmer, you know.
Yeah. Was he more of a I don't know, just sort of like, I'm here to represent the people, but less of like like John Adams being like, kind of the leader of the pack.
Sam felt it was important to be in Boston, but stay in Boston, as is my understanding. But John knew the real fight had to go to the Continental Congress, which was in Philly, and that's where.
So was Sam Adams not in the Continental Congress? I thought he was, or was he more one of like the Sons of Liberty and like leading the charge here?
Okay, leading the charge here, but he wasn't. That's a good question.
Yeah,
it's a good question. I'm going to say that he was. By the time the Declaration was signed, he was not a part of the Continental Congress. If he was, he certainly was not present for the ratification of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's go backwards. This is an interesting topic, so let's go backwards.
Okay.
If you, I guess we don't have to go backwards. You don't have to be like, in 2600 BC, it's a warm summer's day in Greece, you don't have to do that. But if you had to choose, like, you're having a dinner party. And you could have any historical figures there ever, and you knew that they would not take out guns or spears or swords and kill one another or poison one another or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was going to be pleasant.
Check your phones and your swords at the door.
Yeah, your bottles of poison, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. If you knew you could do that, who would you like to have at that magical dinner party?
Ooh, okay. This is I was not prepared for this question, so
I wasn't prepared to ask it.
Right.
If that makes you feel any better.
So this is going to be a very rough list, but probably Jesus, Plato.
The man who invented Plato, or Plato the philosopher?
Plato.
Okay, just checking. Just checking your enunciation.
Jesus, Plato, Benjamin Franklin. That's 3. I'll go with 3.
Oh yeah, maybe I should have capped it.
Yeah.
There's 5 of you at dinner, so you need one more.
Okay, so I'm the 4th, and then
you're the 4th.
Fifth.
Yeah. 5 is a good number to stimulate conversation.
Julius Caesar.
Those are good. It's interesting that you chose all these figures from hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years ago.
And then Ben Franklin.
And Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what am I doing here? Are there women?
He would.
Yeah.
He would have liked to meet those guys too, I think.
Yes, I'm sure he would have. Yeah. So why those people?
Jesus, because I like Jesus.
You like magic tricks?
Yeah, I like, because like, we just order water and it would turn into wine.
Yeah.
Like, why order expensive
such a cheap
wine?
Dinner party.
Like, why order the expensive wine when you could? No, we'll just stick with water. Tap water's fine.
Yeah,
tap water's fine.
Oh, good, Jesus is here. We can have wine now.
You want to do your thing?
Yeah. And he's like, no, I only do one miracle. I only do that miracle once.
We'll still tip him on the full amount. Just come on, just do your thing. Yeah, so
good. I would have laughed sooner, but I was drinking my beer at that time.
Yeah, so Jesus because of that. Plato because I really liked reading like The Republic and other of his writings in college, I think philosophy. Julius Caesar actually was kind of I was trying to think of somebody, but I would really like to meet somebody from ancient Rome.
Now, question.
Yeah.
If you could pull this person from history, like at any time, do you pull them like post-death or at like the prime of their life? Because do you pull Caesar and he's like, I think Rome's really going places. I think I'm going to be there a long time.
Yeah.
Or do you pull him post-stabbing?
I pull him post-stabbing.
Okay.
I pull all of them post
stabbing.
Like,
yeah.
As if all of them post-stabbing. Yeah. No, I would pull all of them as if it was like the day after they died, as if they were getting a chance the day after they died to go to dinner with me.
Okay, so you're basically purgatory.
Basically their own special hell.
Yeah.
And because I want to get the fully formed version of that person with all of their mistakes and all of their learnings and learn from them, from that, not from like, 35-year-old Benjamin Franklin who's like, yeah, I'm starting a newspaper. Like I would want like
that would be the best. Yeah. There's this thing called the printing press.
It's gonna change everything, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I
just invented the urinary catheter. Yeah.
Right. Guys. Stoves.
Yeah.
Think about it.
It's gonna.
All right.
Yeah.
What if your glasses had 2 lenses?
It's
you
like
look down or look
It's
up.
like that scene in Hercules where the fates
Yes.
like turn to the indoor plumbing. It's gonna be big.
Yeah. Right. So like I want Benjamin Franklin like after he dies, like, yeah, I was Postmaster General. Like I was all this like I want him with everything that he knows, everything, all his regrets, all his everything. Yeah, I want that version of each of them.
No, that's real good.
What about you? What would your dinner
You
look
don't.
like?
Well, did you cover everybody?
So Plato because I like his writings.
Plato. You did Plato, Jesus,
Caesar because I really want to talk to somebody who was integral to the Roman Empire. And he was the first one that came to mind.
Yeah.
Like I said, not prepared. And then Franklin because I've always been fascinated by him ever since I can remember. But like in particular in fourth grade, I did like a report on his life. And so I read a lot about him back then, and and that sparked something at age 10 or however old you were in fourth grade. That I've just read a lot of stuff about him ever since, and I'm just fascinated by him as a human being. I went to his several places important to his life, and I went to Philly last year and checked out a bunch of historical, his old home and like the museum and all that stuff. And so I found that really fun and interesting, and like what a Renaissance man he was. So I'd really like to meet him for that.
That's
reason.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
What's your list look like?
My list. Good question. I think we're gonna go a little varied.
Okay.
Marcus Aurelius.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, good. I'm going to say that I'm not going to have the same people at dinner as you have because Jesus would be good.
Yeah,
but I would.
You want to differentiate?
I want to different because Plato would be good too. I really liked the Republic too, and so Allegory of the Cave, it's great stuff.
Yep.
So I'm going to say my first one that I just said, Marcus Aurelius. I'm going to say Tesla.
Ooh, Nikola Tesla. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
How does it feel to get shafted? Yeah. I'm going to say my boy in the hood, Cardinal Richelieu.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, right? I know. I need one more. I'm going to say Copernicus? No. See, there are a lot that I could be like, oh, that would be good.
Yeah, there's a now that I'm thinking about it.
Archimedes would be good.
Archimedes.
Yeah, just for that. I really, it's not really for the math or anything. I just want him to say, could you just say who, what for me?
So you literally want the owl.
I want
Archimedes,
the owl. Archimedes.
I'm
not interested in the person.
Got it.
I said Commodus earlier. That would be fun.
Oh yeah.
Or Nero or Caligula.
I thought about
weird.
Nero. Caligula's a little too weird for me.
I
thought about Nero.
I thought, like, my first thought was really like, what if you just invited all the weirdos of history?
Yeah, that is
like,
the misfits.
Like was that H.H. Holmes, J.J. Holmes, that hotel guy from Chicago, the serial killer?
Yeah.
What if you just invited all those weird people? Like, and then you were like, I feel super uncomfortable at this dinner, but it's gonna be weird. But it's gonna be a story to tell later.
That's interesting.
I'm probably gonna die at the end of it. Yeah,
that is interesting. That now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking of more like 20th century people.
Yeah, because the instinct is always to go
old.
Yeah, you go right back. John Adams, that would be my John Adams. My boy, John Adams.
Yeah, you have to invite him.
Yeah, my boy.
He's obnoxious and disliked, but that's all right.
Yes, and that's why I want him.
Yeah,
because you took Franklin. So
sorry.
Yeah, Caesar Rodney. Let's go.
Caesar Rodney, underappreciated.
And then you want to like Genghis Khan would be interesting. Like there's a lot of, and there's also like big historical figures that you think of. But I would also really like. I would love to have dinner with Lucille Ball.
Oh my God, yeah!
Like, how cool would that be?
You know how much I love her.
Yeah, let's go with the they have to be deceased. Like,
yeah.
Because I would love to have dinner with Dick Van Dyke, but potentially because he's still alive, that is a possibility.
That's true.
Yes,
that is true. That is a remote possibility, but a possibility.
Yeah. But I could have Christopher Lee at that dinner party.
Oh man,
who is not like. Maybe not on the same level as Julius Caesar.
But he is deceased.
And he was a cool dude.
He was awesome.
Was it the Order of Ungentlemanly Conduct, or you know what I'm talking about?
No.
When I say that, when Christopher Lee, the actor, for those of you who don't know, when he was in World War II, he joined really young, and he excelled at all that he did. He spoke like 8 languages and like all this stuff. The man was brilliant.
Wow.
The man was he was a trained opera singer. Like the guy was really like he was stellar, and he was drafted during the war into this secret spy organization called, I believe it was called the Order of Ungentlemanly Conduct, something along those lines. I'm actually going to use my one look. I want to use my one lookup for this. But while I do that, so basically, their missions for the British, were so secret, that they still haven't been released today.
Interesting. So it's still classified.
It's still classified information.
And this is something that Christopher Lee was part of. So I wonder if it was like being a Green Beret.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Ministry of... That sounds so badass.
Winston Churchill's Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Winston Churchill, that's a dude that I want at dinner, too.
Oh, yeah.
We will storm them on the beaches.
Yeah.
You know, and then just Christopher Lee saying so out, I am Christopher Lee. You know, I was a minister of ungentlemanly warfare.
That is such a badass name. Like, that sounds like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That's a movie waiting to happen.
I'm seriously, that sounds like that. There needs to, if nothing else, there needs to be like a Ken Burns documentary about them.
Right.
But
it's also classified.
Also, yeah, well, that's true. That's true. But there needs to be like a dramatized, like, maybe get some great actors in there playing these roles.
Oh, yeah. That would be such... Like, you don't even know what they did, but it doesn't matter because that... Well, that's like because the scene, like, at spoiler alert for Lord of the Rings, but in the extended of the third, Saruman gets stabbed in the back and falls to his death. And during the direction for the acting, Peter Jackson was like, okay, I want you to, it's Peter Jackson, so, Zealand. I want you to imagine what it's like being stabbed in the back. And Christopher Lee responds with, I don't have to imagine.
Oh, my God.
And then he just walks away.
Oh, my God.
What happened to you during the war? I need to know.
Tell me things.
Tell me. And then he was Dracula. That's right. That's cool.
Many times over.
Many times.
Yeah.
He was in like 76 Hammer films or
I don't
something.
even know.
I can't even tell you.
I've seen a bunch
That's
of
a number
Dracula
I pulled
stuff.
out of nowhere. That could be
that sounds a little
totally
high,
wrong.
but not, yeah.
Well, I already used my one lookup, but
it was a lot. It was a lot.
He's been in a lot
He's been
of
in
films.
a ton of those films, and he has been filmed more than most people. Like, he's in the top like few people who've ever appeared on like using swords in films. Like, like he's in the most sword fights, if not the most sword fights, like one of the most sword fights ever of anyone ever in film history. He played a lot of Dracula.
Yeah, a lot of Dracula.
I've seen a bunch of his Dracula movies. But to get back to history.
Let's go back to history. Now, are we talking ancestors off the table? Like, could you go back in time and
you could
say that, your second to the fourth removed second grandmother is on, she could be there.
I mean,
she was a nurse in the Civil War.
If she was Betsy Ross, then I'd say yes. But if she
was Rosalina Betsy, then no.
That's not a name I'm familiar with. So I'm going to say it has to be someone who's...
I made that up on the spot. Right.
So I'm going to say it should be somebody who's like famous, who has who's a prominent historical figure.
Then I'm going to go backwards again.
Okay.
I would like to meet the Duke de Montmorency.
Okay.
Because he is famous.
Yes, and he
is a family member.
Yep.
That would be good.
Yep.
He would like to him at that same table as Cardinal Richelieu.
Okay.
And Cardinal Richelieu would be like, how does it feel that I beheaded you?
Right.
And Duke Montmorency was like, oh, I do not like you anyway, because I'm from France, and so are you. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mother was a hamster.
Yeah.
And your father smelled of elderberries.
I fart in your general direction. Yeah.
All right, so that's 2.
Well, I already did mine, so this is a second dinner party, I would imagine.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, fine.
Yeah, this is the first dinner party was a success, and now
Cardinal Richelieu has to be invited back.
He has to be invited back, so because he's got to be there with the Duke,
right?
Let's go different. I would like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle to
Oh,
be there.
that's a good one.
I would
and
like.
One more.
I'm just gonna keep going. I would like Ian Fleming to be there.
Sure.
And I would like. Susan B. Anthony to be there.
Nice.
Because it's a Sausagefest. yeah.
Historical.
And if Susan B. Anthony taught me anything, it's about equal rights.
There you go.
There we go.
I'm gonna actually say at my second dinner party, because if you're getting 2, I'm getting 2. Einstein.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good one. Did you see that thing about that girl that scored higher on her test than Einstein did?
No.
She scored high. I can't remember her name for the life of me. I tried to find, like, it was one of those things trending on Facebook, and I was like, oh, I need to click on that, but I had to click on my notifications first.
And then it was gone.
And then it was gone. And I, shoot.
That's crazy.
She scored higher than Hawking and Einstein.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how old she is.
You know, Einstein had like a
Want that kid. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Just one Einstein, I guess, yeah.
You know, Einstein had a deformed brain.
Did he?
He had that when they, after his death, obviously they examined his body. They were like, what made him so exceptionally smart? He didn't have 2 lobes to his brain. It was one giant lobe.
Ooh.
Now I'm not going to use my one lookup to look at Snopes to find out if that's actually 100% accurate or not.
You do that new Google Facts thing.
That's true. Yeah, that's cool.
It'd probably take you a long time to find it.
Yeah. But it is a pretty. If it's not true, it's a pretty widely spread story.
That's cool.
But I want to meet.
He also
Einstein.
didn't wear socks.
Yeah,
FYI.
I did know that. I want to meet Einstein. I want to meet Isaac Newton.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King.
You could offer some fake Newtons and then tell him that they were named after the town in Massachusetts and not about him.
Right.
And he will get depressed.
Yeah.
Continue.
He'd also be like, what's Massachusetts?
Yeah. Fair.
Touche.
Fair.
Martin Luther King.
Good one.
For obvious reasons.
Yep. Because he was a king. Continue.
Yep.
Yep.
Because royalty.
Yep. Take a sip. I said something stupid.
Yeah, basically. That should be a game.
Yeah.
The Beer with Geeks drinking game. Take a sip every time one of us says something stupid.
They'd be dead.
Every time one of us makes a pun.
Yeah. Oh, no.
We have alcohol poisoning because of our podcast.
Oh, my God. They'd be deader than all the people at our dinner party.
In the hospital on the IV.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do? I listened to that podcast again.
To the podcast again. I'm sorry.
I'm going to listen right now. I can't stop.
Yeah. We're so good and addicting.
I wish that were true. Yeah. That's 3. I could get one more. If I could get one more, I think I would go with. Ooh, this is hard. I only got one more. Like, it was easy when I had 4, and now it's like
it's easy when you just spurt them out, and it's like the infinite dinner party. But when you got to narrow it down,
no, it's my last one. Like, okay, but I don't know. That is hard.
I don't know. Reggie Lewis.
No. Babe Ruth.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Love my Yankees.
That's a good one. I would tell you to get out, but this is your house.
Yeah. So you can get out.
Yeah, I will. Okay, bye.
Sox fan.
That was Beer with Geeks. Yeah. A joke I've made probably in the past 10 podcasts for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
Okay. Third dinner party.
Oh, we have the third
We
one.
have a third dinner party. Good things come in 3s. Good things come in 3s. Professor Tolkien.
Okay.
Professor C.S. Lewis.
Oh,
because they were best buds, and I
that's a
think it
good
would
one.
be fun to reunite them at the same time.
Yep.
How fun would
that
that
would be? Really cool. That's
yeah,
smart.
that's
smart.
what I'm talking about. Joan of Arc.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
Charlie Chaplin.
Ooh, nice.
And oh crap, I had his name and now I've totally lost it. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna blow your mind that you didn't think of it first. And it's going to be nope, I have Hank Henshaw stuck in my head. That's not what it is.
Hank Williams?
No, that would be good too. But nope, it's not a musician. It's what's the guy who invented the Muppets? Help me out here.
Jim Henson?
Henson, thank you.
Henson. Okay, I see it. Okay.
But I don't deserve to have him there because I couldn't think of it.
So
I'm going to take Stan Winston instead. The modern special effects artist
a
couple years ago.
That's good.
He's
That's
a
good.
figure of history, technically. Film history.
G.K. Chesterton.
Ooh.
You said C.S. Lewis. You reminded me of G.K. Chesterton because
that's a really good one.
He's another man's man.
Excuse me, sir.
Drinker of brandies and smoker of cigars and philosopher and theologist. Yeah. So I would that'd be easy one. Neil Armstrong.
Good one. Yep, you can't do Buzz Aldrin because he's still alive.
He's alive.
I walked on your face. Yeah.
Don't you
You
know
don't.
it's the day?
Go back to the night.
Amazing.
Just if you don't know what we're talking about, YouTube Buzz Aldrin yelling at the moon,
Yeah.
and a bunch of stuff will come
Yeah,
up. And
exactly.
it's the best.
Did you see this video of him from like 10 years ago when he was like in his 70s, where some guy walked up to him? He was like a moon landing denier. He walked up to him and was like, "Oh, you didn't walk on the moon. The whole thing was it was a farce." And Buzz Aldrin punched him in the face.
Awesome.
So freaking cool. Like at like 75 or something. Like he was not a young man even then, even 10 years ago.
Buzz Aldrin is the man.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait for him to die so he can come to my dinner party.
We just start killing celebrities. This
is the inception of that idea. Right here.
Oh, my God.
I said good things come in threes, like celebrity deaths.
Oh, man, yeah.
Keep going. I'm sorry. I derailed you. Like the inventor of the train.
Whoa.
Whose name I don't know.
I don't know, but I would have Henry Ford.
Henry Ford.
Yeah, so Chesterton, Ford, Armstrong, and it's always the last one. That's the hardest.
It's, that
it's always the last one.
There's so many choices.
Actually, I think I would go with Alexander Hamilton.
Good one.
I've always been an admirer of Alexander Hamilton's because of the role he played in the foundation of our country. Specifically, he was a New Yorker, and he was
even though he invented the telephone in Boston. What?
That is Alexander Graham Bell.
You said you said Hamilton, didn't you?
Yeah.
I had Graham Bell in my head the whole time.
Sorry.
I heard Alexander, and I thought you were going with Graham Bell, and I got this whole joke in my head running through, like, would you call him and say ahoy? Would you, like, I had this whole thing. It's useless now.
But he would have been good, too. It's
useless now.
But no, Alexander Hamilton, because he was a New Yorker, he was very, very dedicated to New York. New York was the capital of our country for a little bit because of Alexander Hamilton, until he lost to he had an argument with Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, and the only way to, like, the resolution, the compromise was, okay, we will. I think it had something to do with the bank, because Alexander Hamilton was the first treasurer of the United States.
Oh,
I
interesting.
think it had something to do with banking, or maybe it even had something to do with slavery. I honestly can't remember right at this moment what it was. But the compromise was, okay, Jefferson was like, okay, I will give you what you want, but you have to move the capital of the country to be somewhere in the South. And so they settled on D.C. because it was like midway, but more in the South.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that at all.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
So that's how it moved from
New York to D.C.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, because Philadelphia, it was New York, and then it was D.C. Yeah, so
that's your and that's 3. That's the dinner party.
That's the dinner party.
Okay.
Dinner party.
You get 2 honorable mentions. You invited them, but they declined because they were busy.
Oh man, they were at your dinner party.
Yeah, that's
jerk.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I have 1. I don't know if I have my second one. It's going to be a roll off the tongue.
Okay.
Tough, right?
Give me your 1 that you have.
John Paul II.
Ooh, good one.
Mm-hmm.
Jealous of that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You called him, but he was already at my party. Yeah. See? Yeah, that was, I know. And just somebody totally random. Like, just John Paul II in Bluebeard. Or John Paul II and Eric Leifson. Or
Leif Erikson.
I'm dyslexic. Leave me alone.
Or like Lady Bird Johnson or someone.
Yes.
Dolly Madison.
You
saved all this stuff from the White House, and you have your own brand of ice cream. How did you do that?
Yeah.
Amazing.
She's like, I don't know. There's a like Amerigo Vespucci.
Ooh.
Yeah, with Columbus, get them in a room together, have them duke it out. Who really discovered America?
Oh, Pocahontas.
Oh, that would be a good one.
And Sacagawea.
So you're like both from America before it was America.
You're like natives of this place we call America.
Even though Sacagawea was born far past when this country was founded.
But she was here.
Just saying. Okay.
But she was a Native American. Even though she was, around the 1800s, she was still Native American.
That's good. Okay, and to top this off, that's good. Pick one fictional historical character. Like one that, like...
Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist.
No, Fagin.
Fagin, yeah, way better. Zorro.
Obviously. Yeah,
it didn't even pop into my head until you said Sacagawea.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that's like going out west. The West when California wasn't part of America. Zorro. Train of
I
thought.
should have said Doc Brown. 'Cause
Now
maybe
I'm
he'd
thinking
take
about
me.
trains.
Maybe
Yeah.
he'd take me in his
DeLorean
train.
No, you don't want to go in the train. You want to go in the car.
Yeah, I do, but the train's
I wouldn't
pretty
mind
cool, too.
going in the train.
I'm just thinking like historical fiction.
All right, well, let's go find Doc Brown.
1885.
Let's end this podcast and go find Doc Brown.
All right, fine. But before we go, I want everyone to know they can find us at Beer with Geeks on Twitter or beerwithgeeks.com. They can also send us an email at beerwithgeeks@gmail.com. They can also find us on the Satchel Media Player, the great app for listening to your podcast. You can find us on Android right now in the Google Play Store. You can find the Satchel Media Player there. Some friends of ours who run that app. Great app. Totally free. Awesome way to listen to your podcasts and support the podcasters that you enjoy. Or you can listen to us on iTunes if you don't have an Android device yet. And if you're doing that, we really appreciate it if you just take a minute. In fact, right now, if you're listening to us, take a quick second and leave us a rating or a review. You can just leave us a star review. It doesn't have to be any words. You can just tap the number of stars you think we're worth. We hope it's 4 or 5, but hey, that's up to you. And maybe even if you feel like it, you could write us a review. Use your words to do that.
Words.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one here. Friends talking about what they like.
Oh.
By Spudwork78.
Mm.
Says, this podcast is obviously friends talking about things they like, and it's awesome. Even the intro, I found myself trying to name every quote I heard. Glad I subscribed and looking forward to each new ep. Thank you very much.
Thank you much.
I was actually with friends. Hi, friends.
Hi.
Shout out. And they, for some reason, thought it was necessary to put on the podcast while I was in the car. Yeah. Even though they can talk to me in person.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like your voice is coming out of this
It's coming
speaker,
out of the side,
but you're
also in the backseat. Whoa. And so, but the intro started and one friend turned around and he's like, I do this every time. And it's like, and then it starts, he goes, look, up in the sky. You'll never find them already. And he just he said everything right with the intro.
So
I
funny.
was laughing internally and externally. But until next time, I bid you adieu, as does Frank. Cheers.